Welcome to Flosstube episode number 3 of Stitched in Hand. I am Janet and it has been quite a hiatus, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back, spending time with me, especially after my long absence. And if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for checking out my channel. I hope you enjoy it, and both returning and new viewers, just thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for checking me out. I know there are a ton of amazing floss tubers out there, so I really do appreciate you spending your time with me. And I hope everybody's had a great holiday season. I haven't seen you since before Thanksgiving. I hope you all have had a wonderful new year. I have had a crazy last few months. I think last time I sat down to talk to you guys, I was getting ready to leave for Sicily. I had an amazing time. I met the most amazing people. I actually went out to lunch with them last week. It was great catching up with them, and just highly recommend if you ever get a chance. Sicily is so beautiful. I could probably spend a good 3-4 hours talking about it in my trip. I'll put some pictures at the end of the video if you're interested. And what have I been doing the last few months? Honestly, not as much cross-stitching or quilting or knitting than I was hoping. After I got back from Sicily. And honestly, in Sicily, I brought knitting and I brought cross-stitching, and I didn't have a chance to even really do anything. We were just out straight in the morning, and then, like I said, it just met the most amazing people, and we were just up till 11 o'clock at night talking, having a drink out on the terrace of the hotels, and it was the perfect weather. It was 70s and sunny. It was, I couldn't have asked for a better trip. It was beyond expectations. So just absolutely amazing. So after Sicily, it was Thanksgiving, and it was just low-key. We have a small family, so we went over a cousin's house, had a nice Thanksgiving, and then December hit, and that's where things started unraveling really quickly. My youngest got sick, my mother got sick, my oldest got sick. He ended up with we think it was RSV. So the pediatricians, I guess, don't test for RSV anymore just because it's so rampant. They basically said just give him cough medicine and it'll run its course. And after about a month and a half, his cough finally went away. I had the flu over Christmas, which was horrible. I couldn't tell you the last time I had the flu, and it's kind of my own fault. I went in for my COVID test, my COVID booster, and I didn't get my flu vaccination. So next year, I will be making sure I do that. And then after I had the flu, my mom had the flu, and then our septic tank, one of the pipes went, and so that had to get torn up and repaired. Although it hasn't been all bad these last few months. So my oldest got his driver's license. I guess good, bad, depending on which side you're on. Great for him. Me, it's more gray hairs coming my way. And he's, I work from home, so he's been confiscating my car to drive to school every day, unless I feel like I need to go somewhere at lunch or run errands. The lucky duck's been driving my car. He's put more miles on it probably in the last few weeks than I've put on it since started working from home at the beginning of COVID. So he did that. He actually starts an internship in April for a sports team here in Worcester by us, and that's amazing. He wants to go into sports management with a concentration in sports analytics is his major when he goes to college next year. So that's a great opportunity for him. He's gotten into 2 of the 7 colleges he's applied to. We're still waiting to hear from the other 5. His first choice, they don't actually release their decisions until April 1st, which I feel is late, especially because May 1st is when you have to let the colleges and universities know your decisions. So fingers crossed he gets into his first choice. That would be amazing. And then the youngest one, he's freshman in high school. He this fall played his first season with the esports team for Super Mario Brothers with the high school here in town. And the captain of the team actually is a senior, decided to take this season off to concentrate on his academics. So he nominated my son to be captain, so my son is captain of the esports team at the high school, and he is loving that. He also plans on joining the track and field team. I have mixed thoughts about that. He is not very athletic. Let's see, played soccer and broke his collarbone. He was walking in on wet pavement and fell and broke his wrist. So fingers crossed that there are no more broken bones or injuries when he goes out for track and field. So, but fingers crossed, it'll be good for him. Fresh air, getting out, moving his body. It's all good. So anyways, as far as cross stitching goes, I have things to show. I just don't feel like I've accomplished as much as I wanted to. I do have plan set for this year upcoming, what I want to accomplish, finish stitching. I put together Excel spreadsheets of my works in progress and my kitted items and the patterns I have to just, sometimes I feel like I just keep starting things for that dopamine rush, and then I don't have as many works in progress as I thought I did, so there's a plus. I do plan on doing Whip Parade and talking a little bit more about my plans for this coming year as far as my stitching is concerned. So I'm going to do a separate video on that. I'm hoping to film it this weekend, so it'll come out hopefully right after this. But I do have a couple fully finished objects to show and plenty of works in progress. I have a couple knitting items that I had finished that if you're interested, I'll talk about at the end, as well as a very small, well, quilting plans and one little quilting block to share as well. So I'm going to start with my fully finished objects. So the first one is Souvenir France this is a freebie by Blackbird Design. I stitched this on Weeks Dye Works linen in Baby Breath. It is the old base. I have to say, so I do stitch in hand. I'm finding that the old base is difficult to stitch in hand with. I have a lot of mistakes on this with the border, half stitches off, just, it's very soft, so it is very hard to hold in hand. I have another project that I am working with the same base with Weeks Dye Works, and I'm struggling with that too, but I love it so much I'm going to power through. So this is my first one. And then my second two, and I'm going to group them together because they're came out of the same place and the same pattern. So these are antique linen labels. They are by Hello from Liz Mathews. They were in the spring 2022 Punch Needle and Primitive Stitchers magazine. So these are stitched on natural 32 count Zweigart with Gentle Arts Fisherman Warf floss. In any questions, I try and put as much as I can remember the information in the description box down below. So if I forget to mention anything, check it out down there. I did change the date on this. I put 1653. I can't remember what date was originally on there. It was a 1700, I think. But this is the date that my family landed in the United States in Weymouth, Massachusetts. So I thought I'd throw a date on there that kind of meant something to me. So I did rechart that. And then as far as my pillows go, so this one is filled with polyfill. And these have a combination of crushed walnuts and polyfill. And I try and take the easy way out when I make my pillows. So on the back of them, I sew them all around, I cut a slit, I stuff them as full as I can, I do a horrible job whip stitching, invisible stitching. I just can't get my head around. So then I just take steam seam and I put lace over the stitches so nobody sees it. So I did that with all of these. So you'll see that on all of my pillows. That's how I make them. So that was it for, unfortunately, my finishes. Nothing else. So like I said, plenty of works in progress. So I'm going to start with my first one. So these two are the smallest projects I'm currently have going that I want to. Honestly, I'm hoping to finish them this weekend. There's not a whole lot done, but they're pretty dense stitching that needs to be done. So the first one I'm working on, I'll show the pattern first. So this is Home. This is by Pineberry Lane, and I am stitching this. So this is another week's. So even the project I was thinking of, this is another week's on the old base. So I basically have all of it done except for the house. I am just working on filling in the massive house. I'm using the Called For colors except for the color of the house, the white. It called for Roasted Marshmallow. I don't think I wrote it. Yeah, it called for Roasted Marshmallow, but I didn't have any, and at the time when I started this, I couldn't get a hold of it. Now I found it and I have two skeins. Two skeins in my stash now, but I'm using Parchment, which is actually pretty close, and I am really loving the way it is looking. And like I said, this weekend, I'm hoping to just do some mindless stitching, throw a good movie on. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know. I'm looking for good movies or a good show to watch. So that is one. Fingers crossed I get that done this weekend. The second one I'm hoping to get done this weekend, oh, here it is out of the Keeper of the Pins by Brenda Gervais. And I am sure you guys have all seen this a million times. Everybody is like years ahead of me in completing everything. I ordered this when it came out. I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered all the floss. I pre-ordered I ordered the fabric to go with it. I started one pillow. I'm working on this one here. When did this come out? Last spring. And here is what I have so far. So I'm on the spool, and then I just have the base of the, I'm on this thread, and then I'll have the base of the spool done. I ordered a huge piece of the Vintage Country Mocha, so I'm hoping to do all of them. I have a very small start on another one, so I had done the strawberry. Where is it there? Done the strawberry, and then I ended up having a little bit of the red thread left over, but I had finished all the tomatoes. So on the back, I have an M done of My Soul. Yeah, this one here. My Soul is Fed with needle and thread. So as soon as I finish this, I will then move on to this one. Again, it's just a lot of fill-in, mindless fill-in, so putting on a good movie, maybe a long movie, and just powering through these two this weekend to get those done. So fingers crossed I can get these two smalls done and out of my whip basket. So the next thing I'm working on, can't even describe how much I love this stitch. It's Harriet Elizabeth Co. If at any point in time I call it Hannah Elizabeth Co., please forgive me. When we were naming our oldest, if it was a girl, it was going to be Hannah Elizabeth. So even in my book of days, I've been writing Hannah Elizabeth, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to abbreviate it to HEC. so this way I don't get it wrong. But here it is. So I saw this while watching Carol from Salt Box Stitcher, and it was up behind her, and I went through all of her back videos to find out the name of this chart. And I started it February 5th. I am using all the Called For colors, so I cannot put it down. The fabric, the floss, the stitch, everything. So I have the top border done. There's an inner border, and it might be blowing out, that's in a very light blue. The alphabet, which is Algerian eyelets. I love Algerian eyelets. I love them. I know some people hate them. It takes longer than a regular X, but honestly, I love doing it. I was up at 2:30 in the morning, and last night I had started in on this border down here, and I started in on one side, and then I came back this morning and started in on the other side, and about 3 o'clock in the morning I was so excited when they all matched up. But here is what I have, and I am in love. So I should mention, so the fabric is Xjude Designs in beige gray. Yeah, I just love it. I want to go and order a ton more. The color is beautiful. It's a pleasure to stitch on. I could just gush over this project for hours. Like, I want to get this done so I can sit down, grab myself a gin sour, and stitch on this. I haven't been able to put it down since I started it. The next project I am working on, so this is the one, yeah, let me show you the picture. So this is Sarah Jackson, and I don't know how well you can see it. I hope things aren't blowing out too badly. This is by the Scarlet House. I am changing the verse in here. So I was watching the Contented Needleworker Kim. That's her Flosstube and on Instagram. And if you go to her Instagram page, she changed the verse. And I just loved her verse. So I just kind of shot her a message and said, hey, do you mind if I just rechart this verse based off of what you did? And she's so nice. Honestly, if you haven't watched her, I can't imagine you haven't yet, but if you haven't, you know what, stop this, go over, see her. Tons of projects, tons of finishes, and everything she stitches is just gorgeous. So anyways, I am using, again, all the Called For colors, and I am using the Called For fabric, which is a 36 count weeks dye work in Dolphin. And here's what I have so far. So this was my birthday start. My birthday was February 2nd, so I started this on my birthday, and I feel like I'm making pretty good progress. Like I said, sometimes with the fabric, the lighting has to be really, really good, and it's a slower stitch than me stitching on Harriet Elizabeth Co. But I love the way it looks, and I am really enjoying stitching this as well. Yeah, in that cherry bark, that red is just, the variegation in the colors, I just love it. So that is my progress on that one. And then my next one, I'm starting all the samplers. So this is a small sampler. I just have the PDF of this one. So I had downloaded it from Hands Across the Sea. This is Florence Law, and it's the Waste Not, Want Not sampler. And I am trying my hand at two different things. So I'm doing 40 count. So I have made 2 trips to the local needlework store by me. So I went to Stitches World in Littleton, and that's where I got this fabric, and I had gotten NPI silk. This is shade 835, but it said on the tag that it was an odd lot, so I'm not quite sure this is a standard color that you can get. And then I am stitching this on 40 count Seraphim fabric in Braying Donkey, which is an exclusive to Stitches World in Littleton. And here's my progress so far. I'm enjoying this one too. And this, again, even though it's 40 count with good lighting and my good readers, I'm having no issues stitching on 40 count as well. And I love, like, look how little this is. So I'm really, again, I'm just, what I am working on, I am just enjoying, and I'm just taking my time, and yeah, I'm just taking my time and enjoying it. And my last work in progress, I was watching Mama Loves You GB, and she showed her finish on this stitch, and I went and I ordered it, and it came in, and then I went stash diving, and I started it last night. And this is Remember Me by Scattered Seed Samplers, and I just love that dark, moody blue rose. My color's a little bit different. I didn't have a lot of the DMCs, so I had to kind of switch them out, and I tried to stay as close to the colors as possible. So here is my stitch so far, and this is being stitched on Seraphim fabric, 36 count as well, and this is in Tobias. And I got that big rose. Normally I start at this top corner over here and work my way down. I just needed to get that rose done right away. Just whatever it is about this dark blue moody rose, I am in love with. I enjoy pink. You can see blue. Blue is my thing. Yeah. But that rose, just everything about, this is the problem I'm having, because I'm like, oh, I just want to get done filming and start stitching on this one. But I just said that about every single pattern chart I'm stitching on. I'm thoroughly enjoying every X. So I guess that's what this craft is about, just enjoying, sitting, relaxing, and yeah, that has been everything I've been working on for the last, say, about month and a half. I didn't want to overwhelm you with every little thing I've been working on. Like I said, I'll do a different whip parade this weekend. I'll get that filmed. I do it right after I film this, except for the fact that I lost one of my memory cards for my camera, so I'm very limited on space, so I'm gonna have to download this video before I can I can start filming that one. So I am going to share some of my recent purchases and a couple things I have recently kitted up, things I'm itching to get my hands on. But like I said, I have to finish Keeper of the Pins, Home, and I want to make some really good progress on the other samplers I'm working on, I think, before I start something else. I say that, but don't hold me to it, please. So let me share a couple patterns I've recently gotten. So I picked up, this is another Scarlet House, and this is a Strawberry House. I figure will be perfect. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare. Perfect spring, summer stitch to work on. And there is something about a big house I just absolutely love. And then the other pattern I picked up was Threadworks Primitive Anna Sampler. Oh, I feel like I need to take this out of the plastic. I'm sorry, I'm gonna start the crinkling. Oh, there we go. There we go. So this is the Anna Sampler by Threadworks Primitive. So I picked that up as well. And this one's nice because it's only 4 colors. So even if I don't have the exact called for floss, it should be easy enough to pick 4 other colors. I'm really, no, I'm not trying to use my stash. I'm just trying to do what I enjoy. I'd like to say, oh, yep, I'm going to be working a lot of my stash, but nope. And then I had picked up, which I thought would be really good for this. This is some Picture This Plus, 36 count, and let me just see. This was from 123 Stitch. Oh, this is the Bloom. So I picked that up, and I figured it would be perfect for the, well, I picked up another one for another project, and I put the second one in my cart, and I figured that would be perfect for Anne's sampler. And then, whoops, a couple of the other random, I say random linens, because I picked up other linens, but they went with kits. But I put an order at Hollis Hands Creates, so she had some Fox and Rabbit. So this is Fox and Rabbit Winter Wren. And that's, did I say 36? That's 36 count. And then I did pre-order a couple of With Thy Needle and Threads. I don't know if she does market releases or she just releases them around market time. But I picked up 2 of hers. One of them was the My Home Sweet Home. And it's part of the series of, I did Ye Be Thankful, I've already stitched, and there's Cheer and Joy, or Joy and Cheer. I have that kitted up, but I haven't stitched it yet. But I have it kitted with this. This is Fox and Rabbit Duxbury. And this is what I did Ye Be Thankful on, what I have kitted for the Joy and Cheer, and then I figured there's enough to do My Home Sweet Home, and then I'm assuming, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, praying that she's going to come out with a 4th one, one for each season, so there should be enough for both those with this. Alright, and then my kitted projects. So let me start with, alright, so when I went out with the women I had met in Sicily, we ended up at a place for dinner in Franklin, Massachusetts, which was a stone's throw from Stitch New England. So I ended up after dinner driving into North Attleboro to stop by there. What a beautiful place. The owner who was there, so nice, so personable. So she helped me out with a couple of things. So I had seen this. This is Regina Cable. I'm not very good with names. Again, With Thy Needle and Thread. I want to do a couple of these kind of, I don't want to call them washed out. That's not quite the right word, but soft colored samplers for my bedroom. So I picked this up. I bought the Called For, and surprisingly enough, this is all Called For DMC, no overdyes. So I picked up these beautiful DMCs. So I picked up all the Called For, I love this color, DMCs. And then I picked up 40 count because I'm going to be enjoying the Florence Law. So I picked up this right here. This is 40 count. This is Atomic Ranch fabric in frise, I'm gonna say, maybe. Hoping it's enough. So I picked that up to do the sampler for that. And then while I was there, I did have a glass bell jar that I just keep hitting over here. I picked up Eleanor Rigby. from Blackbird Designs, and this is part of the Beatles. I want to do all of them. I love the Yellow Submarine. I don't know where I would put it. I love it. It matches a t-shirt I have. So anyways, I picked that up. I picked up all of the floss for it as well. I think the only one I couldn't get was the, I think it called for GAST Gentle Arts Onyx. Yes, and they didn't have any, so I just picked up charcoal for it. So I have the floss, and then I had picked up a big enough piece of the frise that I'll be able to do Eleanor Rigsby on that as well. I feel like, is it blowing out? I mean, it's light in there. You can see some of the modeling there. So that's one of the, well, two of the kits I've done over the last few weeks. And then I feel like my fancy Ziploc bags, my kitted projects, I just keep in my, I keep in Ziploc bags just for the ease of it. And then working on looking at some of the, again, I'm looking for those soft samplers for the bedrooms, those like dreamy colors. So I purchased the PDF from Hello from Liz Mathews, and this is the AL Motif Sampler. I'm sorry, I just feel like that's blowing out. If it is, I'll try and just insert pictures of them here. So I picked that up. I picked up the Called For NPI. And then from Hollis Hand Creates, I also picked up, is this 40 count? Yep, 40 count. This is Paper Bark, which will blow out because it's a beautiful cream color. I almost want to go on and order a bigger piece of this, but this is a beautiful cream color by Fox and Rabbit. And so that's all ready to go as well, because I just want to start all the things. All the things. Then so the next project I kitted up is a Pleasant Sampler, again by Hello from Liz Mathews. And this one, it calls for Gloriana Silk, which unfortunately they're hard to come by. So I ended up doing my own silk conversion. I'm using Dinky Dyes. And this is what I have. And I picked up the Call For, this is the balloon. So I picked that up. So here are the colors for that. So pretty. I'm really hoping this isn't blowing out too much. But, yeah. So, again, I just want to start all of the things. And then the last thing is, so I keep mentioning Hello from Liz Mathews. I love her patterns, absolutely love her patterns. So I ended up, she now has a new Patreon, and her first pattern that she released on her Patreon is You've Got the Love. I love this. It is so cute. So I ended up, I ordered a couple extra, I think I ordered 3 other skeins of Dinky Dyes because I wasn't too sure about the colors. You know, ordering online, it is just not easy to determine what colors what. So I have just this plain white natural, but I had picked up, this is Xjude Designs, when I had ordered the fabric for Harriet Elizabeth Co. I picked this up. This is Dewberry, I think? Yep, Dewberry. And I figured this white's gonna look beautiful on it, so I have that. And I can't decide if I want to do the full pattern or if I just want to do the love. But I guess I don't have to decide right now because I'm not starting this anytime soon. You would think for Valentine's Day I would have started it, but nope, didn't didn't get a chance to. Anyways, that's all I have for the cross stitching. So next I'm going to jump over into quilting because I don't have too much to show there. I did finish wall hanging and I posted it to my Instagram, but other than that wall hanging, I really haven't done much sewing. except for this one thing I'm going to show you. So Sherry McConnell from A Quilting Life does a free block of the month every year. I didn't do it last year, I did it the year before, and I will try and insert a picture of the quilt I had completed beforehand and I had done. She was doing kits the year I did it, so I did it in her fabric. This year she wasn't offering kits. You could have bought the fat quarters. I have plenty of fabric, so I couldn't justify buying it this year. I figured I'd use what I had. So I'm using Minica Simpson in a couple different lines that she has of leftovers I have. So I have my January block done. So here it is. I love the way this looks. It came out so great. Her directions, if you haven't checked them out, so clear, concise. The February block, which I'll be doing tomorrow, it's so, I can't wait to show you it. I'm looking at the technique and it's not something I've done, but it doesn't look difficult. So I'm looking forward to going downstairs, grabbing some more fabrics and putting that block together. So hopefully next time I see you guys, I will have a second block done. I'm determined to keep up. I do not want to fall behind. It's only halfway through February, so I have a couple more weeks to do a block. I'm sure I can get that done. But that's all sewing, my sad little pathetic sewing project that I've done since, I couldn't tell you the last time I've sat down. Knitting though, I've actually gotten quite a bit accomplished. I didn't pull it out, but I had shown in my last Flosstube I was working on a wrap to bring with me to Sicily. I got it done and blocked just in time. And then I started knitting actually this sweater. I'm going to try and stand up, see if I can show it to you guys a little bit better. So it's kind of hip length and it has these, well, we'll do this side here. These beautiful balloon 3/4 length sleeves. Just a simple crew neck. So I got that done and stitched as well. And this is just, it's a fingering weight sock yarn held with merino silk. Merino? Not merino. Mohair silk held together. So it's like this soft, fuzzy, warm thing. And I just dyed it this very light taupey gray. I dyed the yarn, so I like to play around with dyeing yarn, although I haven't done much lately just because I don't have, time is precious, and I don't have a whole lot of time these days, so I haven't dyed a lot of yarn lately. And then the last thing I wanted to share, one more knitting project. So I, again, kind of just going through works in progresses, seeing what I have, seeing what I can finish. I had started these socks. They're really cute. They have this beautiful like herringbone cable design down both sides of them. So I have one sock done. So I am working on sock number 2. I'm on the foot, so I'm not that far away, and it's nice. It's Norwegian yarn. Xjude is the brand. I can't remember the base, and it's just a beautiful light gray. I have a sweater I had knit in this, and I had some leftover skeins, so I decided to stitch some socks with them, and it's a thicker DK yarn. It's not a sock yarn, so it goes by a lot faster. So at some point, maybe by the end of this week, maybe next time I talk to you guys, I'll have this done. I'm enjoying knitting the really heavy. So last year, I enjoyed knitting the heavier, thick socks. I work in my unheated basement. It's really cold. So having thick wool socks is really nice, except for this winter, it's crazy. It has, for New England, for Massachusetts, We had a day and a half of Arctic below freezing weather. And that's below 0 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. It was quite chilly out for a day and a half, and it's been 40s and 50s since. It's just been crazy and not our typical weather, so the heavy wool socks haven't been worn a whole lot. Even the sweaters, I just wear a lot of t-shirts with, I have these lightweight t-shirt cardigans that I've been wearing a lot down in the basement because it hasn't even been that cold. It's just been crazy. But I'm looking at the mess I have made in front of me. And that's about it. Like I said, I'm going to try and stick some pictures of Sicily at the end of this. I hope you all really enjoyed it. If you do, just please consider liking, subscribing. Please comment. I promise I am going to get better at replying to comments, and I do read them all, but I definitely want to start making sure that I am communicating with you guys, interacting with you guys. I appreciate all of you, and again, thank you so much for watching. I will be back really soon with my whip parade and kind of my plans and how I'm hopefully going to handle the rest of the year. January, like I said, I didn't do much crafting at all in January. I was still, again, the flu took a lot out of me, and even though it was over Christmas, by New Year's I was getting to feel back by myself, but until weeks I've been feeling back to myself. So I am very grateful for that. And that is all I have. So I hope that you guys are having a great New Year so far, a great month and a half. I hope you are enjoying everything you are stitching as much as I am, and thank you again so much for your supports, your comments, your likes. It is truly, truly appreciated. So thank you, and I will be seeing you shortly with my whip parade.